Alrighty, let's do it. Big match. Ta-da-dum. Good luck, have fun to my friends from the Shopify Rebellion. Mandatory side story is that if it wasn't for the Shopify Rebellion, there is a chance there would not have been Basilisk. And if you guys wonder how, why, Roddy, what does that have to do with each other? A long time ago, Basilisk had a Overwatch team. And Shopify also has an Overwatch team. And eventually, the guys from Basilisk were like, hey, Starcraft's kind of cool. So they asked Shopify, like, hey, can you guys tell us a thing or two about Starcraft 2? They got in contact with Dr. Dario, TLO. And TLO said, well, there is a guy that has a lot of time to talk about Starcraft. He's from the Netherlands. He knows a lot. So he forwarded my contact details to the folks from Basilisk. And the rest, as they like to say, is history. Yes, Trigger ByuN is a replay cast. That is correct. Trigger ByuN is a replay. These are the matchups of today. ByuN versus Trigger, Lambo versus Reynor, and HearthStim versus Serral. First match has already been played, so it's probably going to start immediately. ByuN 787 ELO. Trigger, the man who's had a couple of ups and downs, but obviously has been on a big up and up for quite some time at this point. It is hard to have that never-ending upswing. Everyone in their career is going to have a couple setbacks. Here we go.
Let's get it on. Round 1. Fight!
Top left side of Oceanborn, the Red Protoss player, the man from Canada, Basilisk, Trigger. Bottom right side, our Korean Terran, the world champion of StarCraft 2 of the year 2016, Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. The games have been played earlier, I believe yesterday. I don't know when they were played. I wasn't there, I don't know the result. I always tell the boys, don't tell me the score if you play in advance. I just want to watch the games live, at least for my, even if they're not live, but you guys know what I mean. I don't want to sit here and have information that you guys don't have, and that would just make the cast weird, so I have no idea what happened between these two. I'm excited. I hope that it goes well for us today. It's a big day. ByuN apparently opening up with an eBay block. Trigger is going to pull a couple of probes to the low ground immediately to not see too much HP on this eBay, and we'll take it from there. If you guys are not super familiar with the eBay block, this has one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to delay the expense from going down. Sometimes Protoss players will ignore it and just take the third base as their natural, but that obviously completely changes your game plan. And you can't really go for certain builds because it's a lot harder to protect two mineral lines that are far away from each other than two that are close to each other. How do the matchup work? Do you know who we are against? No, we seed players in the dark. So I just contacted the admin, or the admin contacted me and he said, hey, line up please. And then I decide who comes out in what order. And for this week I decided Trigger first, Reynor second, and Serral third. ByuN opening up with a quick reactor. And since that factory is super close to the barracks, this is starting to look like he could do a swapperoo, and that is exactly what he plans on doing. I guess we're going to open up double Cyclone here. Interesting opening. This is the kind of stuff that you want to scout as a Protoss as quickly as possible, and you want to get a shield battery in your natural. Cyclones are weird. They can be amazing. This is so greedy, by the way. It's not Cyclones, it's Hellions. Alright. Well, good news that Trigger in the end decided to just take his natural. Ideally, Trigger keeps this probe long enough alive that he can see what comes out of the factory. So we're gonna do a little ring around the rosy here, try to avoid that marine. I would have liked to see him move it up. Okay. Can we see what comes out of the factory? He hasn't seen it yet, and unfortunately, no, he won't see it. Maybe he knows the build time? Does see the starport, as the observer is showing us. No, the adepts at least not. We don't want to lose this adept, so I want to see him shaded back immediately. Just get a couple hits off here and there, that's fine. I would get a shield battery in my natural. Seems that Trigger is not too concerned yet. Is it possible to buy tickets for Katowice already? I believe they're already sold out, mate. I think you're a little bit too late. Why did you do that? cannot share my methods, mate. Because I can make the opposition wiser for the upcoming play days. I can make the opposition wiser for the playoffs. I have a reason why I do things. Sometimes that will work out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. It's obviously kind of random. And there is a lot of RNG, but cannot give away any information, sir. If we win the tournament, I will tell you how we got there. I'm going to open a monster. I'm excited for this match. Am I happy with the matchups? Yeah, I'm happy. I believe in the boys. Of course I'm happy. Seems that Trigger is opening up with 4 gateways. That's not something he does super often. Or is it just 3? Maybe it's just 3 actually. I think it's 4 though. No, it's 4. Here comes the first medevac drop. Ideally, we take care of this as quickly as possible. A little bit of retarget. Seems like we lost a stalker there. Send the probes back to mining, please. The 4 Hellions are going to now try to drive into the natural. Don't forget about that, Trigger, and he won't forget about it. The medevac was empty. That's kind of funny, actually. No, it wasn't empty. But it didn't go for it. Feeling an ace match today. 0-2, 1-1, 2-0. I believe in Trigger. Trigger has been able to get a couple of very big wins for us against Terran players in the past. This is now becoming a little bit problematic. There's one more mine left. That mine is going to get dropped. Is Trigger paying attention? Yes. Will the shot hurt? Oh, yes, it does. That is 5 probes going down. We've now lost a little bit more against this opening than we were supposed to. I do think that Trigger is going to be very aggressive on the other side of the map. He has not warped in a 3rd Nexus yet. 7 probes going down for 3 mines and a Hellion. Like, it's some... Oh, no. Okay. This is now a little bit problematic. 2 Hellions will still pack a punch. Trigger is obviously focused on what's happening on the other side of the map. He's going to blink. He has the Observer. He kills the 1st tank. He gets the 2nd tank as well. And we have lost 3 probes at home. I mean, getting 2 tanks that quickly, guys, is pretty promising. He's going to blink into the main. There is one more tank. The Stalkers are low in HP, though. We don't have a 3rd Nexus yet. ByuN is scouting. He's scouting a lot. As we have another forward blink, and that is tank number 3 that goes down. ByuN losing 3 tanks real quick against the Blinky boys. And now it's just SCVs and Marines. And this is where Stalkers can shine bright like a diamond. I think ByuN is in trouble, man. I think we can blink, we can get that bunker. And once we get the bunker, the floodgates are open. Or as Damu would say, the floodgates are on. One Marauder doesn't stand a chance. Our boy from Canada, I think he's doing it again like he's done it so many times for us when we need him the most. Took out ByuN last year. We lost 8 more probes, so that is a little bit scary. Uh-oh. That is a little bit scary. I don't know if we lost 8 more or if we lost 5 more after the initial 3. But it's okay. ByuN has no bunker. ByuN has a single tank. Show us the Stalkers, please, Mr. WTL Observer. Stim is 80% done. I think we can go for that tank. He will go for that tank. He gets that tank. And from here on out, don't lose the War Prism. Whatever you do, don't lose your War Prism. We're just going to pick up some Stalkers. We're going to blink to the low ground. I think there was a beauty arrow or 2 there. But I can live with it. Trigger's going to warp in a few more Stalkers. A Stim will be ready. The next time, we have to be careful now with the blinks, guys. Because Stim is ready. 28 SCVs have gone down. That is obviously a crazy amount. Can Trigger transition? Yes. But, okay, he is going to go for charge. Loses the Observer there, by the way. But that's okay. We still have high ground vision with the War Prism. Trigger seems to think that he has done enough. And he wants to transition. And just expand on his lead. I don't hate that call. I think if we make a few more gateways, we are cooking. But maybe we don't even need to let it get there. If we just keep on microing the Stalk as well, if we keep on kiting these bio units, there's no bunker. The tank count is damn low. Is he gonna send it? Oh, he's gonna send it, baby. That tank falls. We should be able to get that Marauder as well. And ByuN has a low HP bio army left without any medevac support. The man from Basilisk. Like he's done it in the past. He does it again. He shows up on a big moment for us. Takes the 1-0 lead. Let's go, Trigger. Ah, big win. Very big win. Earlier this season, when we played against Dragon Kaiser Gaming, Trigger took out Oliveira 2-0. Last season, he took out ByuN. This time, apparently, he at least took the 1-0 lead. Is there more to it? Heartlet, a map to bottom right side. Shopify, Rebellions, ByuN. Top left side, Basilisk, Trigger. Both teams 7 win, 1 loss so far in the regular season. But they have 2 more points than us. And cannot repeat this often enough, but it's very important. You get 3 points for winning without an ace match. You get 2 points for winning with an ace match. You get 1 point for losing in the ace match. So in a perfect world, we win today without this going to an ace match, and then we'll all be very happy. As a fellow Canadian, I approve. As a fellow member of Basilisk, I approve. Let's go, Trigger. Big win. That's very nice. Trigger his PvTs, guys. In these moments, he often delivers. Should have taken a map of Maru as well last year. In that regular season match of onside against Basilisk. On Greswan, he totally had that game. It's gonna be a lot nicer for him as well to play that second game already knowing that you're 1-0 up. At this point, you can kind of see this as a bit of a free roll. Where you're like, okay, I think I've already done my job for my team. I am playing against perhaps the strongest player of Shopify Rebellion. At the bare minimum, I'm gonna get a draw for my team. Nothing to lose and everything to win here in the second one. ByuN once more went for an eBay block. This time around, Trigger said, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and take the third base. ByuN with a similar setup to what he did in the previous game. I think that Trigger overall handled the early aggression quite well. There was maybe one mine that did a little bit more than it was supposed to, but you know, obviously a medevac is not for free, widow mines are not for free, so they'll always find some damage. Trigger said in his stream that Clam PvT is the best now. You mean Clam's TVP or you mean Clam playing Protoss against Terran? Because I think Clam's Protoss is good, but max specs is better. But if you're TVP, yeah. I mean, I think that I say that very often on my channel as well. I know some of you guys think that this old man is crazy and that he's full of it, but you know, guys, I do pay attention. I promise. And I know a thing or two about this video game. Trigger going Stargate here in the second game. Could be because of that eBay block. He may just feel that it's a bit easier to defend the main and the third base if you go for a Stargate opening. I assume that we're going to go at least one Oracle then. I'm personally not the biggest Oracle fan, but I think the Oracle is almost mandatory when you open up at the expense like this. Well, Trigger says, Roddy, if you want Phoenix, I'll give you Phoenix. And normally I always do. I really do. This is not my influence, by the way. I think if you are opening up against this super quick factory and this many aliens, Shield Battery Overcharge gets activated to save our Adept. We're gonna lift a higher HP Hellion. We have one more Adept keeping the natural safe. You guys think this is an armory opening, by the way? That's only 2 mines. Wait, what is ByuN doing? So far, so good. This could have been hard. This could have been problematic. But it's actually a pretty good start by Trigger. Widow mines into double Cyclone. And Cyclones are very powerful, but they're gonna hit quite late now. And at this point, I think Trigger is gonna have a lot of units. He's actually off to a really good start here in game 2. I don't want to believe that it's happening yet, guys, but I am definitely feeling this start, man. We have a 10 worker lead. As long as we don't do something silly, like fly our Phoenix into Widow mines or take a really bad fight against Cyclones, I think Trigger is kind of cooking. Trigger wanted that elo boost. I think he will already get it at the bare minimum for the 1-1 here. That should absolutely... Careful, please. Don't fly into the mines. It's just scout. Don't fly into the mines. Whatever you do, don't fly into the mines. Trigger. A little bit reckless there. That is just not something you can do on this level. You want to be a bit more on top of your unit control. It's okay to kind of right-click close towards the Terran base, but once you enter the main base, you always want to be proper cautious. MaxPax in the chat saying this is a good position for Trigger. I agree with you, MaxPax. I also said I liked it. I just didn't see him. I didn't like seeing him lose the Phoenix. I think there was a little period where Trigger was somewhat fond of Phoenix Colossus, but yeah, he's more of a Twilight boy. Royalty in the chat here today. That makes me happy. MaxPax loyal Ruddy sub. I mean, where do you guys think MaxPax is getting all these great builds from? No, he's a very smart kid, but you guys think he makes everything up himself? He watches that Ruddy stream. He takes some notes whenever he sees me play some ladder games. Trigger gives up in the depth, but gets a bit of scouting info. Got an observer on the other side of the map. Research interference matrix, right, on the side of ByuN. I believe that I saw the upgrade earlier. If the Phoenix... This is risky, though, because there's a Widow Mine above the refinery. That Widow Mine, I think, is going to fire. It will... Oh, my God, it's double mine, but somehow we didn't lose any Phoenix there, I believe. Which I would say is impressive and very fortunate. If I want to have some fun, I will play your style. Otherwise, no. No need to hurt me like that, MaxPax. I am your #1 fan. It's not all about fun, okay? Some of it is actually good, I promise. The 2 Widow Mines that fired earlier moved over. And at least that allowed Trigger to pick them off like that. The Raven is going to reveal the Observer. Not... Is he just going to poke with 1 Immortal, 1 Colossus? Phoenix is thinking of going for a dive on the Raven there, but... Colossus coming in from the left. We can lose that Colossus. Interference Matrix is going to go down. Just run the Colossus back. He recalls it. Can we save it? Okay, he somehow saves it. I don't know how I felt about all of that. That was a bit of a weird interaction. The Immortal is going to turn around and at least kill the Cyclone. I kind of like it because that Immortal was going to die regardless. So if you can at least get something in return, you may as well. I think that's better than randomly running it back and seeing it die eventually. Only MaxPax can say back when I was 6k, and he means it as a pleb level. Like, I used to play like you when I was 6k, aka when I didn't know what I was doing. That is a life goal for most of us, but it's all good. Marines are going to stim forward and gun down one of the Phoenixes. Trigger obviously needs to be careful because he did fly into the mines earlier, so a lot of his Phoenix are relatively weak. And another one gets picked up by Stim Marines. I honestly feel like we're bleeding out a few more units right now than we are supposed to. Don't forget that the recall is on cooldown. Trigger already recalled that Colossus and some of the Phoenix home. So now he cannot just bring these Phoenixes home quickly. And weathering the storm that is ByuN right now is going to be hard. Trigger is sitting at 1,000 minerals. Colossus could be in a bit of trouble. He is going to be in a lot of trouble. That is not the micro that we were looking for. I think ByuN is kind of picking Trigger apart here in game 2. I think we had a promising start, but the macro just wasn't quite there. Maybe that move out with the Colossus and the Immortal wasn't quite it. And obviously ByuN kicking things into overdrive here. Gunning down every single Colossus. It seems that after 2 games, we are going to be all tied up. Unless there is a magical comeback, but I don't think that's possible. If you play Phoenix Colossus and you start falling this far behind, I don't think that we can really go anywhere. It's a shame, because Trigger had a good start. It honestly looked like we could go somewhere in this game. ByuN is going to be forced to pick up a lot of these units since they are somewhat low on HP, but he's done a tremendous amount of damage. 22 probes went down, 2 Colossus fell. I think Trigger was getting a bit greedy there with the Phoenix, keeping them around in the main base so long. It's like, okay, you're killing a Marauder, you're killing a Marine, but you have no idea where he is on your side of the map. That obviously is a problem. But we will take the 1-1, guys. That is not a bad start for us at all. Heading into Reynor versus Lambo. That's going to be the next best of 2 on the stream. I think 1-1 is very reasonable. It's a start that Basilisk will take. I think Shopify is not super happy with it. Does not mean that we are there though, guys, because Lambo is obviously a very smart player. It is Coach Lambo against the man that he's been coaching for the 2 biggest wins of his careers. So they know a lot about each other, and ZVZ can obviously always be kind of crazy. So no guarantee for success, but I believe in Reynor. I always do. Double cloak with a mine in the back of the main. ByuN is maybe just waiting for the 2-2 upgrades, or he's not quite sure how he wants to end it. Wants to come in from the blind spot next to the natural of trigger one more time. Because they have teams LTU Hunter. But I don't think there will be Team Roddy WTL qualifiers next season. I think we are past that. We had our fun. The days with Goblin and Baby Marine and Cuckoo, it was super cool. Last time we obviously had some mercenaries. It was a bit of an experiment, and I think the journey was fun, but I don't know if I overall really loved the idea. But you have to try things to see if something can work. It becomes a bit weird as well, LTU Hunter, because I am obviously very invested in the success of Basilisk. So if I then start running a second team with really good players like Showtime and Hero Marine, that'd be very weird. That'd just be a complete conflict of interest, and obviously I don't want that. My focus is on Basilisk. My job is to see Basilisk perform as good as possible. Make everyone shine, and that deserves my energy, not a second team. I think that is very normal. But if somebody else wants to be in charge of running a team with Gabe and Showtime, I think that would be awesome for WTL, but that is not my job. My job is to see my boys shine. Couple of EMPs run. Shield battery overcharge has been activated. Nice feedbacks on the Ghost. I'm afraid the trigger is just a bit too far behind to really start believing. Doesn't really have any armor upgrades. He has done, honestly, surprisingly well over the last 2 or 3 minutes. Is the Basilisk relationship raw and new thing? Not totally new, but I would say that it's slightly more. I have slightly more responsibility now than I had in the beginning. In the beginning, it was just like, hey, Roddy, you want to be a streamer for us and you want to be our caster? And that's fine. And then slowly but steady, I started doing a bit more with the rest of the boys involved. But it's not totally new. Big EMPs landing on Stalkers and Archons. Colossus are going to die. Obviously, ByuN's army is way too big, way too powerful here for Trigger to be able to deal with it. GG got called. These games were played yesterday. This was the replay best of 2. From here on out, everything else is live. ByuN and Trigger will split things up. We'll take that, guys. I'm happy with it. I don't know if the Rebellion is happy with it, but I'm happy with it.